is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and you are watching the Talking Pointless. I think this is week 11. I'm not sure. I think so. Of the stay indoors thingy. Fake Fox News, fake news Fox News, as reporting on alleged Antifa activity. It's not them. The FBI people indicate that it is just a protest, and that there's other insurgents that are not Antifa, some other group that are just pissed off. There was apparently a killing of a man named George Floyd in Minneapolis that led to, by a policeman, that led to his arrest, the policeman's arrest, and his people that were watching. This led to riots all over the country, major cities, and then people who were opportunists wanted to come in there and loot stuff and cause trouble, but they weren't the rioters. They were just other opportunist, angry people that were not organized in any way by Antifa. They were just out there doing stuff. But no, they have to be an organized evil group. It's all going to be part of the secret cabal to destroy Trump. Who then wanted to take a photo op with a Bible, so he basically tear gassed a bunch of protesters who were just protesting in front of the White House, so he could run out there with a Bible and go, "Who, I have a Bible," and then say you should bring in tanks and military group. That would be against the First Amendment, which is the right, not just the right freedom of speech, but the right to gather in an assemblage and protest. It's actually in the First Amendment. So civil liberties were being wrecked by, and that's why you have people that were doing looting and other stuff in addition to protesting. So 2020, go and vote, and just vote him out of office. He's incompetent. Anyway, so next we have and possibly dangerous. So here we have on what the internet is complaining about: the release or not release of a one-off comic book sequel to the New Warriors. I'm familiar with the New Warriors from the 90s, and I thought that I should chime in because that's actually a more fun story than massive riots and protests and some occasional angry people. There was even riots and protests. There was even going to be a militant group that was going to go guard the Target store in our area because they thought that for sure the looters were going to go there. They didn't, because the Target store is mostly in a minority neighborhood and run by minority neighborhoods. So they're not gonna, if it was them, they wouldn't do it, right? So nobody looted the Target store. So it didn't happen. But yeah, anyway, so there was no big protest over here or anything. There were, funerals for the George Floyd person in Minneapolis. There were other cases of brutality that shouldn't have happened, but that has nothing to do with the New Warriors. Well, actually, it vaguely does, in that the alt-right GOP people like to throw out terms like snowflake and SJW, as if that's a pejorative, and all that other stuff. Apparently, So, okay, the New Warriors thing, it's a comic book series. It aired in the late 80s, early 90s, and then there was an update in the 2000s, and now there's an update in 2020. Okay, so, but I take this update as a parody, because in the tradition of some of the other Marvel parodies, like Guardians of the Galaxy was a parody. They made it into a legit movie, but it's a parody. As well as Squirrel Girl is also a spoof parody. This is in the line of that and Squirrel Girl. This is clearly supposed to be a spoof. Naturally, it set off all the alt-right people on the internet. It made them go crazy. There were like 15 different sites devoted to knocking this comic book that is clearly a joke. They can't take a joke. It's amazing. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a one-off comic book miniseries. It's like New Mutants, but they're social justice warriors, literally. That's literally what they are. They have a overweight spoof of Dora the Explorer, who is called Trailblazer, who has a magic backpack. It's a Dora the Explorer ripoff. It's very clearly a Dora the Explorer parody. Then we got, let's see, we have, let's see, we have a guy named, what is this? Screen Time, who's a hacker apparently, who has computer powers. Gee, that's really offensive for some reason. Here we have, I can't watch the trailer and they'll flag it. So the trailer. This is a trailer from a while ago, a couple of months ago. We have two twins, a guy and a girl, called Snowflake and Safe Space. That's a little on point. Clearly a joke. It's like, why are they offended by this? This is funny. It's like, okay, they're making a pejorative into something amusing. They're saying, like, this is no big deal. Let's make fun of it. This character has snow powers. She's basically Iceman. But the snow can be turned into knives and blades and shurikens and throwing stars, basically. That's kind of cool. He has the power to save people or something. Not sure quite what his power is. Is it because half of them are black or ethnic? That's probably what it is. They're just racist. But yeah, it's like so. Okay, then we have this. What's this other one? And then we have a vampire dude. Where's he at? Here he is. The vampire guy. He's does it say what he is? He's a. The vampire is called B negative. Come on, man. How can you possibly not get that joke? It's like, we have Storm and Firestar and them are the leaders. I can't show you the pictures and video and stuff because then I would get flagged by Marvel, which proves that we're not Marvel shills because we can't actually show them. But there are several. Until the thing is over, then we're Marvel shills again. There was supposed to be a release of Wonder Woman 84. It didn't come out. It's supposed to come out yesterday. Yeah, there's no theaters open. So I don't know why these guys are so butthurt about strong, empowered minorities or women. What is their problem? What do they want everybody to be like masculine, gung-ho, G.I. Joe type Djangoist dudes with redneck powers living in trailer parks? Is that what they want? Because that would not sell. Your target audience for comic books typically is not kids anymore, but 30-somethings to 50-somethings. And they're trying to appeal back to the original demographic, the kids again, by making this comic book. What's funny about this is I don't think the kids are into this stuff. Because, as a Sunday school teacher, no, they don't use these pejorative terms. No, they don't. So they wouldn't get it. But yeah, so it's weird. It's like it's pissing off the alt-right people that can't stand SJWs. It's pissing them off, but it's like it's not pissing anyone else off. It's like why are they upset about a comic book? It just doesn't. And it's a series that ultimately was supposed to be edgy on purpose and comically. If you went back to the original late 80s, early 90s, the New Warriors, they were supposed to be like the Next Generation. They were supposed to be like kind of like the Marvel version of the Teen Titans, and they were supposed to be like ooh, the edgy younger people, teenagers, and they were grossly ridiculous even then in terms of their exaggeration and stuff. So it wasn't like they were these characters, it wasn't like they were hip then either. Like when we were teenagers, late 80s, we thought that was square because we were like, wait a minute, they got characters that like do these powers and they're like kind of lame. I'm gonna go watch X-Men instead. I'm gonna go watch X-Men, or something else. It's just like, yeah. So yeah, we had the series. Tim. So, that was much ado about nothing. So, yeah, I was going on about the New Warriors thing. What's weird is the internet is also going on about how it was allegedly canceled. Well, that's not correct. It was not canceled. This is the director guy, writer guy. Did they give his name? They don't give his name. He looks like somebody about my age. So yeah, he doesn't know what the kids are doing. Yeah, it's not me. No, that's a little like no, he's not. No relation. But he's got hipster glasses, and yeah, from May, yeah, March, 2 months ago. It wasn't canceled. There was only supposed to be 5 issues. It was a mini series. It was meant sort of as a yeah, a miniseries. It was meant as a one-off. It was always meant as a one-off, the New Warriors reboot. Assuming that when they go back and retool it, it'll probably... but yeah, but the idea... If they're arguing that the idea of doing an SJW, Social Justice Warrior comic book is... if their idea is, like, let's be hip... and say what the kids are talking about, it fails miserably. But if it's supposed to be a bunch of late 40s, early 50s somethings, like spoofing that, it's a brilliant parody. It's like, oh, that's actually funny. It's like, okay, works. So if it's meant for ironically, if they were trying to be like meant for a younger audience, like teenagers, it doesn't work because they're not talking like that. They don't talk like that. But if it's meant for all of the man babies that are complaining, then they're the target audience, so they should go out and buy the comic book, because they probably like it. But yeah, they probably would. They'd be like, oh yeah, I didn't realize this was a comedy. It was a spoof. Come on. A magic backpack. A magic vampire blood guy. This is blood type B negative. That's not even a thing. And he's negative. It's did these guys complain that Raven back in the day in Teen Titans? I know this DC was half demon. I bet they complained. It's like, oh no, how terrible! There's a demon in the comic book. Terrible! Ah, these are probably the guys that's parents burned rock records in the 70s. Oh no, rock records! Ah, these guys probably didn't let their kids watch Harry Potter. Because they thought, oh, dear, it's probably the same kind of people. It's like, if it's a fiction story and your heroes and your villains are clearly good and evil, and then yeah, Harry Potter is not demonic. Harry Potter is just Harry Potter. And the bad guy is clearly a bad guy. But it's like, that's another story. But it's like the idea that they're butthurt over a character being called Snowflake, that's just retarded. It's like, guys, really? Come on. And some of them are on there. And I'm not going to name the websites because that would incur their ridiculous wrath. Some of them even had, like, in the background, claiming that their girlfriend was there or their kid watched it or whatever. Okay, those guys, I don't think they have a girlfriend or a kid because I don't think any woman would marry them. But yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So it's probably their nephew or their sister right there. So the New Warriors. There are some people that do like the comic book that realize that it's an edgy spoof of our time. The problem is that the only problem that I can foresee again is that the next generation that's going to be reading this, if they're trying to go to teenagers, isn't going to work because the 12, 13-year-olds to 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds now aren't using those terms. They're using other terms, some other newer thing that we don't even know about. They're using terms like Fortnite and stuff and dabbing and all that. They're not. Yeah, it's not even. They're on to the next thing. So yeah, that's already outdated when it comes out of the gate. So clearly written by somebody who's in the late 40s, early 50s. that has no idea what gets back to. That's what made the first one 30 years ago. That's what made the first one fun too. Is that it was supposed to be here for the next generation, but clearly wasn't. It's like, but yeah. So yeah, it's in the DNA of the thing. But she has snowflake powers. Yeah. So yeah, much better than a riot. Well, they're fussing over a comic book miniseries that was only a miniseries and not canceled. One of the two of the sites, Neurotic and one other, were complaining that it was. We're glad that it was canceled and complaining about it. And it's like, no, it's not canceled. They just only made one 4-issue series or 5-issue series. They're just gonna make 5 issues. So it's just a graphic novel and that's it. It's done. So if it sells, they'll make more of it. Actually, if Marvel won't care, they're going to sell more copies of it. These people that are angry about it, so they can buy up a copy and be angry about it and like destroy it if they want. Ooh, on their film, Then that's a waste of paper, I guess. But yeah, no, it's fine. If their objection is that the comic book isn't as well, they're just using powers they've used before. Well, what about the X-Men? And the New Mutants was supposed to come out. I guess that's not coming out. Anyway, so that's talking pointless.